Am I the a-hole for being pissed that my daughter-in-law won't accommodate my allergies, so I am not going to her dinner? I am very, very frustrated. My son has been married to my daughter-in-law for 3 years now. I have always made extra dishes that didn't include meat to accommodate her. No matter how much it was a pain to do, I always made sure she had options to eat when I hosted or she was over. She is vegetarian and at one point tried to go vegan. My son and her never hosted due to living in a small apartment, but that changed since they have just bought a home. They are having a dinner this week and I called her to remind her I am allergic to nuts. She then informed me that she don't have time and to bring my own food. She told me that she cooks a lot with different nuts and she can't make adjustments to her menu. This is where I am at be a jerk. I told her I will not be going and neither will my husband. That I have accommodated her for years and not once have I made her bring her own food. This started an argument where she thinks I am being unreasonable. My husband is on my side, but my son and her is very upset. Edit, stop downvoting people who say there are allergies that are not life-threatening. They are correct. My allergy is not life-threatening. If it was going to kill me, I wouldn't be okay with any of the dishes having nuts. I just asked for one that I can eat. I can be at a table with nuts, it's fine. This actually personally annoys me. Allergic reactions are a spectrum from very mild to kill you. Also, for everyone saying allergies get worse every time people have it are incorrect. Some allergies can be improved through exposure therapy, which is usually done at a doctor's. My daughter has literally done that with her shellfish allergy. Am I the a-hole? I told my parents they birthed a disabled child, so they just have to live with it. I, 22 female, have been diagnosed with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, low muscle issues, anxiety, and am slightly blind. I got diagnosed from the age of 2 to 7 with everything. Due to all of my diagnoses, I am unable to drive anywhere. I can still bus places and take Ubers, but being driven somewhere is sometimes the best option for me. Multiple doctors told my parents I would be unable to drive due to being slightly blind and having anxiety. As I'm unable to hold a full-time job, I don't have heaps of money coming in, so Ubers are usually a last resort. Yesterday, I had asked my dad if he could pick me up as the bus I was supposed to take never came. When he went to pick me up, he made a few comments saying it would be a lot easier if I could drive and how I should learn to drive anyways, despite that fact that doctors don't want me to, as he hates having to pick me up all the time. I replied that it's just what happens when you have a disabled child and it's something you have to put up with. He took massive offense to that and told Mom, who thought I was being incredibly rude. He picks me up once or twice a week at most. Am I the a-hole for pursuing the nanny? Cliche title, I know. But my friend group is split. And I'm being called an arsehole, so here I am. I, 43 male, have been pursuing a relationship with my friend's nanny. He's in finance, she's a doctor, so they needed an extra pair of hands to look after their 6-month-old. About 2 months ago, they found Ella, 29, who they were happy with, and she's been a great help, so I was told. Fast forward to a month ago, I'm over their place to meet the baby and meet Ella for the first time. I thought she was beautiful from the second I laid eyes on her. She's smart and very outgoing. I won't lie, I probably looked like an idiot, but I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Ella and I exchanged numbers with the understanding it was good to have them in the event of an emergency. Both parents aren't always available, so I'm the next best thing in an emergency. Anyway, we'd been texting back and forth for a couple weeks and I thought fuck it, and asked her out for a drink. She said yes. Apparently Ella told my friend and his wife that she was going on a date with me and they're pissed, saying I'll screw up their relationship with her and other stuff. I reminded them Ella's an adult and she's interested in me too, but they told me I need to cancel the date and not go after their nanny because they need her focused on her job and I'm a distraction. I refused again. Now our friend group is involved and divided. Some agree with me we're adults, we can decide for ourselves. Others agree with them I'm an arsehole and it's inappropriate. Am I the a-hole for reminding my parents that my stepsister ruined our family's future? I grew up in a big blended family where we all consider ourselves siblings, and I consider my stepmom my mom. All of us kids are close except for one, my stepsister Liana. Fake name. My parents think it's just because she didn't grow up with the rest of us, but that it's fine, and it's not. Yes, by the time she came to live with us, she was almost 18, but it's not because of that. It's because she cost the rest of us our futures. See, when she came to live with us, she had been independently homeschooled. She was said to be very smart, but testing revealed that she only had about a 9th grade education and no transferable credits. Neither our school or the public school were willing to place her above 9th grade. Since she was only about a month from turning 18, this would mean she would be in high school until her 21st birthday and would more likely than not have to drop out anyway. The only other option was to have her get a GED. They were devastated, especially because she had an offer from family friends to get her into and through college if she did a specific program that she did have advanced education in. If she didn't graduate that year, they would question how bad it was and likely rescind the offer. The only other option was for her to get a GED, which would force the family friend to rescind the offer even if they still wanted to help because she could never get accepted with a GED. My parents worried over this until someone they knew who was the admin of another private school offered to help out. They offered to enroll her as a senior and she could spend the year catching up, provided they saw it in their hearts to give a donation, of course. 100,000 later, she graduated from an accredited high school and moved on to college. My family is just normal middle class, so paying that meant that the rest of us had to take out massive student loans, and my youngest siblings even had to switch to public school. My older brother got some help before this, but there wasn't a dime for the rest of us. My parents justify it by saying that they had to do it because it was their job to give all of their kids as close to an equal start to their lives as possible, and this was the only option to do that for her. My mom asked why we all have strained relationships with Liana, and it finally came out that truthfully, we resent her for the huge financial load on us and the entire family that she caused. It's been 10 years and she's never even tried to apologize or make amends, and it's grating. Now my father says that mom has fallen into a depression because nobody loves Liana but her and that we weren't a family despite everything she's ever done. We are a family, just not with Liana. Are we really in the wrong? Am I the a-hole? It's very hydrating. This has been bugging me for a few days. Went to dinner with my wife recently to a relatively nice place, $30, $45 PP mains. Quick side note, we're both in our 30s and both work in hospitality and worked in kitchens for years, so we're generally on our best behavior at restaurants. Anyway, we sit down and are greeted by a young woman early 20s who drops some menus and asks if we want to start with still or sparkling water. I looked at the drink menu and saw the still was $9 and the sparkling was $12. Neither of us care that much about fancy water, so I said tap is fine. She gave a sort of grimace and a small noise. I asked, is there something wrong with the tap water? She replied it's very hydrating, followed by an awkward silence. This was very strange to me, so I essentially repeated the question with slightly different verbiage and once again got it's very hydrating. I looked at her with an expression of please explain. More silence. Eventually I asked, what does that mean? She said, with no emotion, it will hydrate you. Now I'm feeling weird about the whole situation. And I flat out asked, with no expression or connotation, what's wrong with the tap water? You guessed it. It's very hydrating. I stood up and told my wife we're going. Before my wife even realized what was going on, the waitress said have a blessed day with the smuggest smile I've ever seen. Am I in La La Land here? The triplicated response seems really dumb for someone who is a professional at hospitality. Anyway, my wife suggested I took it too far by leaving. In my opinion, I didn't take it far enough and should have spoke to a manager. But life's short, and I didn't. Update 1. My wife was cool with leaving. We have a very equitable relationship. If one of us says to the other we're leaving, or any variation of that, we trust each other to know we made the right call and we'll figure out the rest later. Update 2. This is in America. I'm from near there and have had the tap water in the vicinity several times, without issue. Update 3. Types of water. In my area, it's pretty normal to have 3 choices of water at a restaurant. 1. Still. This is fancy water in a 1L glass bottle, with no bubbles. This was the $9 option. 2. Sparkling water in a 1L glass bottle was $12. 3. Tap water free. This option was not presented to me, but is a choice if the diner asks. Please leave your comments down below to any of today's stories. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.